Hello, guys. Welcome. I think probably the biggest news story of the hour right now. Probably the worst time to try and go live with anything other than political news, but probably everybody's heard about Charlie Kirk, who was shot at Utah Valley University today, and it looks like he did not survive. But I don't really want to cover political stuff, but and it's sad whether you agree with. I mean, politics, all of that aside. I mean, it's still pretty sad. But on from there, hopefully, yeah, hopefully a few more people join us. But if not, I'm just going to get started. I've got quite a bit to cover, so. Um, Anybody who joins us a little late can probably go back and catch up real quick. The first case I'm going to cover is one that probably a lot of people already know about. I'm not sure how many people know about the new update. It's only been a couple days um, since since they broke the news. But first, I'm going to just start with a little housekeeping. And first is going to be our dead air time. I was sick and dead over the weekend. I'm pretty sure I saw the light and I decided not to go towards it. And I stayed here in this realm. And I'm feeling much better, but I really didn't have a voice and I had a horrible headache. So I wouldn't have been any good for you guys on Saturday night. But we're going to be back with our regularly scheduled program this Saturday at 11. We're going to try for this Bridgewater Triangle episode again, but it really does seem like it's a cursed episode because this is going to be the third time that I've tried to bring this one. And if it doesn't work this time, I'm going to just say screw it. And we'll go do some more urban legends because I don't know what else to do. It seems like every time I want to start this one, something happens. Somebody gets sick. I get sick. But I think we've all cycled through whatever deadly virus is lurking out there. I'm just going to blame mine on the start of the school year. My kid is a junior now, but as the older kids are, they're not any cleaner than the little kids. I don't think they wash their hands any more often. So he immediately, the second week of school, brought home cooties. We both had sinus infections, and he got better a lot quicker. But as I am older, I did not recover as quickly as he did. So, Dead Air Time will be back on Saturday night. I hope everybody joins us. I've got some fun Would You Rathers planned for us to do, and also some kind of cool and creepy stories from the Bridgewater Triangle. And hopefully, some of our Massachusetts people will chime in and join us and see if any of them have had any experiences there. And if you have, please email and let me know, or pop into the Discord, which and share your thoughts or experiences if you've had any. And then the second one is an update for Barry Morphew, and this is with the Suzanne Morphew case. I've looked up, and his next hearing is status conference is going to be on November 3rd, so the day before elections, and it's going to be live 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I will be here for that. I mean, it is November. I plan on being here for it, so hopefully nothing pops up in the meantime, but I will move heaven and earth to make sure I'm here and we can watch it live together again. And I do plan on, after we watch the status hearing, I do have some information to present to you since I didn't have it the last time. If anybody is interested in sticking around after the live, I will go over that. I have quite a bit of information. I'm probably not going to get through it all in one go. It is a lot of stuff I have put together on the Suzanne Morphew case since the beginning, and there may be things in there that people haven't seen yet. I hope it's some new information for some people, since it has kind of been, I mean, it's one of those cases, I think, that kind of has been, I don't want to say like beat a dead horse, but it probably has. And um, I just don't want to regurgitate what other people have done. So hopefully I'm going to bring something new for you guys to watch in respect to Suzanne, and hopefully she's going to get justice, and hopefully Barry goes away for a long while. And with that, I am going to get started tonight, or this afternoon, I guess. Still, we're going to give. There is a Bear Brook case. If anybody knows about this, the Bear Brook murders. This case came from New Hampshire, and it started in 1985 with the discovery of a barrel in Bear Brook State Park, and this is near Allenstown in New Hampshire. Inside the barrel were the remains of a woman and a little girl. Now, fast forward 15 years from 1985, so it's now 2000, another barrel was found, and not very far from where the first barrel was. And this one contained the remains of two more young girls. Now, for years, no one knew who the remains were, no names. The case was pretty cold. And then they were able to get DNA from all four of the remains. And amazingly, and this is my field of study, this is one of the areas that I love, and I think this is so amazing. I wish more cases, I wish there was a way to get more cases filtered through, so we could get more of these John Does and Jane Does, and give them their names back. That it means a lot to me. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I don't think anybody should just be left to, without a marker with their name on it. I think that's very important that they get their names back. Even if we never find out exactly how they died or how they met their end, at least they have their names back. But at least now, these four victims, the Bear Brook murder victims, they all four now have their name. And with the investigative genealogy that has taken quite a while, especially on the very last little girl, but they were able to identify her, and that came out just on the 7th of September. So it's only been a few days. And all four of these murders are linked to the killer Terry Rasmussen, or Rasmussen. I think you could say it either way. He is sometimes called the chameleon killer. He moved around quite a bit. He was in California, Arizona, New Hampshire, obviously, because this is where our four victims were found. And he changed his name, and I'll show you some photos here in just a bit, that he changed his appearance pretty well too. If you didn't know if you had no clue who he was, you probably wouldn't recognize him between his different personas. So the final breakthrough just came. They identified the last little girl. They did know that she was Rasmussen's biological daughter, but they did not know her mother because she was completely unconnected to the other three murder victims. And those three were related. They were found to be mother and two daughters. And I'll go into them a little bit more here in a minute. But tonight, we'll start out with, I'll just give you a little backstory for those who don't know about Terry Rasmussen. I'm going to say he's got a lot more victims out there, and we'll get into it here. So this little girl, we'll start with her. Her name is Ray Rasmussen, and she is the daughter of Terry Rasmussen. She was the very last victim found in a barrel with another young girl. And it's been probably about 40 years since she died, since they discovered the barrels in 1985. They're thinking they probably died probably somewhere around 85, probably just before. So in 1985, there was a hunter out in the woods and he stumbled upon a rusty barrel. And it was about 10 miles outside of Concord. And inside, the remains of a woman and a little girl. And then 15 years later, like I said, another barrel was discovered in the same vicinity. There were two more little girls, so now there's four victims, all in the same type of metal barrel. There's no identities, and for decades, they were only known as the Bear Brook victims. And in 2019, three of them were finally named, and they were Marilise Honeychurch and her two daughters, Marie Vaughn and Sarah McWaters. Now, the fourth child was, like I said, she was not connected to either Marilise or her two daughters, so they always knew she wasn't a child of Marilise, so that they're not sure how she was put in the barrels with the other three. But then they did, through DNA testing and genealogy, they found out that she was the biological daughter of the killer, Terry Rasmussen. Now, what they didn't know was who was Ray's mother. And that was a lot of hard work. I know for a fact I've helped a few people that have been adoptees that are tracing their biological families. And I've traced some of my own biological family members as well. So I've done quite a bit of genetic genealogy on my own. And I know this was not an easy task for them. They didn't have any very near relatives when it came to Ray. So there weren't any, when I say near relatives, they didn't have, there were no like first cousins, there were no half siblings, and no very close matches. And the closest that they came was, I believe the gentleman said it was the 1800s was as close as they could find connecting matches for Ray. So they had a long list of people to go through, to search through, and it is a process of elimination. So essentially, you're going down through each one of these family lines, and if you think of it as like the roots on a tree, you're going to come down the trunk of your tree and you're going to follow each one of those roots to the end. And when you get to that end and there's no connection, you've got to go back and start on a different route. And you follow that one. And if that one doesn't bring anything to light, on to the next. And that's pretty much what they had to do with Ray. And when you're looking back as far as the 1800s, it could be a little dodgy. Uh, as far as what records are available, I mean, all it would take is one person to have been adopted out in her family, like a unknown pregnancy, and you could have somebody completely lost to history. So in Rasmussen's case, her mother was found, and her mother is Pepper Reed, and she disappeared sometime in the late 1970s. I believe they said the last time she was known to be alive was 78, and she was in the company of Terry Rasmussen. And this is a lot of guys. You're going to hear this a lot. It seems like a lot of these women, the last person they're seen alive with is this man. Whatever name he's going by, it's him. So Oh, hello, Spacey Stacy. Glad you're here for this because this one it's going to get deep with Terry. It's going to get really deep, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I like to keep it. I don't want it to get too dark because this is a pretty. Once we start going through all of the victims here, it's going to get heavy, and I'd like to. I think we got to laugh once in a while. I do have a couple palate cleansers for us as we go through here, so that we can just shake off some of this because it's this guy was he's pretty nasty and uh there let's see here, where did I leave off? All right, so Pepper has been missing. Her family, there's not a lot of details that they've shared yet on Pepper, and the curious me, I did go on Ancestry. As I do, being a genealogist, I went on Ancestry and I started looking for a Pepper Reed. She was supposed to be about 22, 23 when she disappeared, which would have put her born about 1952, 53. So she went missing from California. That's where Rasmussen lived at the time. So I looked for Pepper Reeds starting out in California. I only found one, and kind of starting to believe that maybe Pepper is a nickname and maybe they're not sharing, because they did say the family asked for privacy at this time, now that they know that the daughter has been identified and that she was a victim. So it's assumed that Pepper was also a victim of Rasmussen since she has never been seen again. And then her daughter is tragically found dead as well. Uh, and like I said, I did look in Ancestry. I could not, there's a couple school photos I found of girls named Pepper Reed. They did not look like the photos that I'm going to show you of the ones that they share of Pepper Reed. So I don't know, maybe Pepper is, like I said, maybe Pepper is a nickname. The last name Reed, perhaps it's a married name. I'm not sure. I know they spoke of in the article, one of the articles that I read, that she had living children, I believe. And I was trying to find that article again, and now I can't find it, but I will keep looking because we'll keep updating on this case. I just wasn't able to go back and find it. So once I do, I will bring it to you guys and I will give you an update on it. And so hopefully they'll give us some more information on Pepper. I do have photos to show you guys. And let me pop those up here on the screen. So this is Ray, and this is her mother, Pepper. And Ray, unfortunately, when they found her in the barrel, there was nothing to identify her. It was bones. So they had to do facial reconstruction. There is a I will post there's an amazing video that one of the I wanted to play it, but I'm not sure if I can due to copyright issues. It's from one of the news stations in New Hampshire that have covered the case, the Bear Brook case. And I want to play it for you guys, but I'm not sure what the copyright situation is. I don't know if they'll come for me, and I don't want to get a strike this early in the career of the channel. So I will put a link up for you guys to go watch it. But the man with NamUs that has been working on all four of the victims, doing the facial reconstruction and doing the drawings and updating them as they get more information, as the DNA, once they got DNA evidence in, they could go back and tweak the images. So this is the updated photo of Ray, since I believe there is no baby photo of Ray, which is really sad that this is all we have left of her, but at least she has her name now. And then her mother over here, Pepper, she is, I think she's gorgeous. She just looks like she was just a beautiful lady, and she had a beautiful little girl, and she got involved with this psycho. Yeah, and I hope Pepper, I hope she they at least find her so they can bring her and Ray back together. Like I said, I think she does Pepper did have other children. If I read the article correctly, she does have family of some nature. I don't know if she still has parents around, but if she does, the family did ask for some privacy at this time. So that's why I think maybe we're not getting a whole lot of information quite yet on Pepper. But I'd really like to keep looking into her and maybe help find her, see if she turned up anywhere else. They if they have her daughter's DNA, if she's out there somewhere, maybe she is a Jane Doe herself. Maybe she'll get maybe they'll discover her soon enough too. And yeah, McClurk, future genealogists will probably have an easier time with us. So, yeah, at some point in the future, we're not going to be waiting like 40 years for updates and for people to figure out who they're just going to, right, take a sample, probably run it through a machine, and boop, they're going to run it through a system. And but I don't know, that might freak some people out. If you think about it, they don't probably not everybody wants their DNA that well that readily available for people to track you. And that'll probably what it is. It'll I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of, using 23andMe and using Ancestry, right? That your information is now out there, and insurance companies and all of that are going to use your information against you. So I think it's an amazing thing myself. The I think the pros kind of outweigh the cons a lot. If we can get some of these Jane Does and John Does identified, give them their names back, give them the respect that they deserve that they didn't get in life, then I think it's well worth it. And if you actually happen to I mean, if it's one of your family members, that's how I look at it. If I had a missing mother or a sister or brother, you I'd be there. I'd be there wanting somebody to find them. And definitely, while my DNA is already on file, I've already done a couple different ancestry tests. So, and yeah, I think it's important. So if you can, but yeah, there is that tipping point, right? When you get to, like, our insurance company is going to use this one day, but to me, they're already getting your blood samples when you go to the hospital, when you get your yearly checkups. They're going to get your DNA one way or the other. So at least this point, we can use it for something positive, and hopefully keep it moving. And every time I see a new case that comes back as they have a name, it's just, I don't know about anybody else, but I get really excited. Even though they're still a victim and they still lost their life, they're not unknown anymore. And that's that's huge for me. I just think that that's amazing, because there is a family out there. They can mourn, they can close well, I don't know if you ever can close that door. I think you're always probably going to hurt, like they're always going to wonder what happened, but at least you know where they are. And hello, Dawn Marie. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Just getting started. So I'll give you a little bit more. Let's talk about Terry Rasmussen himself. So we'll get into him, and then at the end, I'll start pulling up some more information on, like I said, I did try to look into Pepper last night. These are some more photos of her. I believe probably the one in color is probably, I'm going to guess, probably closer. She looks a little bit older. I'm going to say the two black and white are probably from her graduation, high school. So yeah, I'm going to say if she was born in 52, 53, she probably graduated about 71, 72. So if anybody is into uh, like ancestry and genealogy like I do, I'm going to start going through the yearbooks And as I get more information, like I've got a Google alert for Pepper. So if they give us any more information on her, I will start plugging it away, and I'll have it on my Discord too. I'll probably just make a separate little channel for Pepper. So if we find anything interesting, if people find some photos that they think are hers, like in a yearbook, it would be really interesting to see if we can track her down, and maybe somewhere they've found her already and she just needs to be identified. I'm hoping that's the situation for Pepper, but she looks like she was just a beautiful, sweet girl. And wait till you see this Terry. He is, yeah, he's a piece of work. So these are what they're calling the Bear Brook victims, and these are Terry Rasmussen's victims. And I'll come back to them here in just a moment, but that one was out of order. So this is Terry Rasmussen. Like I said, he's a piece of work. he he had a lot of names. One was Bob Evans, which I don't know about you guys. Every time I hear that, I think of the restaurant. And he went by Bob Evans, Bobby Evans, and Robert Evans. He went by Curtis Kimball, Gordon Jensen, and Larry Vanier. Or I don't know, maybe it's Vanner. It's either Vanier or Vanner, Vanner. And each one of his aliases had a past. So each one of them, he'd gotten caught for something. So he had a long record, as you can tell. The photo of him that I'm showing here, he's being booked into the Maricopa County jail. So, and pop up this one. There's so he can, I mean, he can kind of switch his looks. Like there's not a lot of beard, and then you got a lot of beard. He looks, and then here's all of him. And I think there's a lot more photos. This is one that just kind of had the six different ones of them all together, and I think he looks a lot different in each one of them. Of course, especially the older he got and the more his hairline receded, he looked entirely different from his original photos. Just, I don't know, I think he's got crazy eyes, but I think we say that about a lot of them. So maybe it's just, he was a killer. So, but that's why they called him the Chameleon Killer, just because he looked different. He switched his identity. And I guess back in the 70s, you could do that pretty easily, a lot more so than you can now. He had some jail stints. He spent some time in jail, and all of them, like I said, they were all under different aliases. So he had a very distinct pattern, and it was he would seek out single mothers. He would move into their lives, and once he had control of them, they vanished. And sometimes the children, he'd keep them around for a while, and he would use them to lure in his next victim. So it was a way of getting, the next woman he met to be like, oh, look at this single father, probably, right? And they fell for it, sadly. And some of those children, usually about the time that they were old enough to speak, was probably when he got rid of them. That was time for him. And that was the case with Denise and Lisa. And I'll pop back here. Denise was the young lady up in the upper left-hand corner here. She's got kind of like the plaid top and the little tan turtleneck. She's got the long brown hair, pretty smile. She was one of his victims. And yeah, he was an absolute monster. Well, Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Denise went missing. Her name's Denise Boudin. I hope I'm saying that right, or is it? It might be Bowden. Maybe it's Bowden. Okay. She vanished from Manchester in New Hampshire in 1981. And she had a baby girl. And when she left with her daughter and her boyfriend, a man that was calling himself Bob Evans. That man was Terry Rasmussen. When she left with Bob or Terry, she was never seen again. But Terry, he kept the girl, and her name was Lisa. Now, they're not sure if Denise has never been found. There's no remains. She's never turned up anywhere else, so she's obviously a victim of Terry's. And she was in New Hampshire. They don't know if she ever made it to California, but her daughter Lisa did. So for years, Rasmussen was raising Lisa as if she were his own child. And when she was about 5 or 6 years old, he left her with strangers in California. And she grew up believing her name was Lisa. She grew up believing that this man was her father, I believe, but she didn't know who her mother was. So for decades, and Terry did get into, or Bob, he did get into a little bit of trouble for ditching because that was child abandonment. So he did spend a little time in jail for that. And they started, so years later, Lisa comes, she's an adult woman, and she starts what is known as the Lisa Project. Detectives begin using genetic genealogy and they trace her family tree, and branch by branch, they go through each connection, and finally they get to the truth. And Lisa was really, her name was Dawn Bowden, and she is the missing baby of Denise from New Hampshire. And her mother, Denise, was sadly gone, another victim of Rasmussen. And she was not the biological daughter of Terry Rasmussen. So, and then Lisa, her case is what began the complete exposure of Rasmussen. Because of her, the investigators were able to compare the Bear Brook murders, and they were beginning to put all these pieces together. So Rasmussen had worked at a Manchester mill in New Hampshire, and he worked for the man who owned the property in Allenstown where the barrels were found. So they're putting all of this together. And then DNA confirmed he was the father of what they always referred to her as the middle child, which was the little girl in the barrel, Ray Rasmussen. So they had it all together, and they knew who the Bear Brook killer was. And they're pretty sure Rasmussen's crimes, they didn't stop in New Hampshire. And he actually did serve, he went to prison for murder. And while he was living in California, he eventually in 2003 was behind bars. This time his name was Larry Vanner, and he charmed, as they say, charmed a beautiful young Korean immigrant. And her name is Yoon Soon Jun. They married in a backyard ceremony, but it wasn't an official ceremony. So it was just more, what do they call them? Like a commitment ceremony. And not long after that ceremony, she disappeared, which is That's his MO. So, how they found her was pretty grisly. The home where they lived, they found her dismembered and partially mummified. I'm sorry, trigger warning, guys. And he had put her in, like, I believe it from the sounds of it, it was like a crawl space, and he had put cat litter on top of her. And that is how they found her, unfortunately. And he did eventually confess to dismembering her. So he did go to prison in 2003, and he died in prison in 2010. But this was all before the Bear Brook, all of the truth about the Bear Brook murders, the girls in the barrels. He died long before all of it came out. So he escaped having any sort of punishment for that. And it's yeah, it's kind of disgusting. I mean, at least they know. I mean, it's pretty proof positive, I think, that he's the one that that did these. Most of the time police won't tell you straight up if they're who they're looking at or any of that, but these police, they all point the finger at him, and they're 100% certain. So I think it's safe for me to say, and for all of us to say, that Terry Rasmussen committed the Bear Brook murders. He killed Marlise, Marie, Sarah, and his own daughter, Ray. He most likely killed Ray's mother, Pepper Reed. He killed his girlfriend, Yoon Sung June. And also, we're missing Denise Bowden. So he's got a long list of victims. And unfortunately, there are probably a whole lot more out there. And when the young girl Lisa, who he abandoned and had gone to jail for a time for abandoning, she said that there was another woman who had a baby that was about 6 months old that had been traveling with them, and she disappeared. And they don't know who this woman was or who the child was. So there's two more out there that they don't know who these people were. And he's just he's just nasty. So with all of that, he went to jail. He served minimal time for one murder, and unfortunately there's still many more questions out there. What happened to Denise? What happened to Pepper? And who are there more victims out there? And I think he probably has. I mean, there's just the fact that I know, like, I don't know how much everybody knows about how the victims died in the Bear Brook murders, but uh, it was blunt force trauma. So, and these were kids. These were just, and one was his own daughter. So this is I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, so I probably shouldn't say, but this is like some kind of next level sociopath behavior. I don't know what happened to him when he was a kid or what happened, but he's a piece of work. So I do want to keep looking into Pepper and see if we can maybe find out some more information about her. Like I said, I did already kind of do like a little lookup on her, and I'd like to see if we can kind of, if not kind of, but I would like to see if we can find her, or at least get some more information out there. They do have actually, somebody on Reddit made a missing poster for her, so it's not even through NamUs or an agency of any kind that I've can't find a missing poster because I want to share it. Um, so I hope we get one of those soon so that we can share it. And I will also, I believe there is one for Denise, and I will get that up, and we can, if everybody wants to just kind of pass them around, if you give them to someone, maybe they'll give it to someone, maybe we can get some of these older cold cases. If we maybe, I know we're starting small here, there's not very many of us, but eventually, hopefully, maybe by word of mouth, we can get some more of these cold cases out there. I want to focus a lot on these. When we get the genetic genealogy ones that get solved, I'm gonna bring those right here. Like, these are, like I said, this is my wheelhouse. This is where I like to um this is where I like to be, because this is it's fascinating. And if anybody wants to learn about this, if we want to get really nerdy, I will bring you with me and I am more than happy to uh show you guys how to do it. If you like puzzles, that's essentially what it is when you get to um into the genetic genealogy. If you're working with, I work with Ancestry, just because they have all the, you have all the cousins and everything match, and that's where I pay all my, most of my money goes to Ancestry, I feel like sometimes. So, and it gives you a very clear, um like, you can see where your cousins are. It gives you a very clear outline. And if you have some, you can go to there's a few other sites that you can go to. So if anybody's interested in learning that, I would be happy to, like, we could do a video on it. I would love to show you guys, because it is, I don't know, I'm fascinated by it. I'd love to share it. I've, like I said, I've found some uh, I've connected quite a few. I always say that they're not deadbeat dads, but I have friends who didn't know who their father, find out later on in life they didn't know who their fathers were. I found some grandpas as well. I found my own great grandpa, or sorry, great great grandpa. So it's just fascinating. So if you guys are interested, let me know. Send me an email if that's something you guys want to explore, and I'll probably just put like a video together, and then we'll do it live, and then we'll just go through it like step by step kind of a thing. And definitely I want to get missing posters. I don't have one for Pepper yet. I don't know why they don't have one, and I will get one for Denise. I did not It didn't pop up when I popped in her name, but I'm sure she is a NamUs. I'm almost positive she is. So I will pull her up, and then I will post it in Discord. And everybody, if you want to come to the Discord and check it out, it's small right now. There's not very many of us there yet, but the channel is small too. So, but that's where I'll post any interesting cases when it comes to like the genetic genealogy. I'll pop them in there, and if anybody wants to hear more about them, I'll go do a deep dive, and I'll bring back what I can. And like I said, I am very good at finding people on Ancestry. And I don't like to brag about myself, but that is one thing I can tell you that I feel very comfortable in saying. So I have volunteered my time for to a couple different places, that if they have any DNA, but unfortunately, it seems like most of these places want the big companies. It, and I get why. Like, you're going to have to if you discover somebody, you're probably going to have to go to court and testify. And I don't know if I'm quite ready for court yet, but I would sure love to help, because I think that would be very rewarding, and it would. I know how happy people are when you find relatives that they didn't know they had. So finding out that your long lost sister is now identified, and that would just be, I just can't imagine how amazing that would feel for those people, those families. So, all right. So moving on from Bear Brook, do we want a palate cleanser? Anybody? Is everybody here? Oh, I see Rabbit. Hello, Rabbit. Did anybody else pop in that I didn't get to say hi to? Oh, hi, Tiff. I see you there. All right. So I will, if you guys want, I can come back and I'll see about copyright issues if I can play that video for the Bear Brook murders. And if I can, I'll do a live for that. We can all watch it together and comment on it because there's some, the especially the gentleman that did the facial reconstruction and everything. It was very interesting, and I'll at least link it and share it with you guys so you can go watch it on your own. I highly recommend it. So, all right, palette cleanser. I'm gonna show you guys. I didn't know. I don't know what I can share. I don't want to share others people's stuff and get in trouble for it. So I'm so boring. Um, All right. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Have I broke the internet? Yay! Is that okay, can you guys all right. I don't know what oh no. I think I forgot to add myself to the to the stage. I thought I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh my god. I am learning all of this. So please forgive me. No one send me hate mail. I'm sitting here trying to plug in everything and double checking it, and I'm like losing my mind back here. So I don't know what you guys heard. Um let's see. I all right. So I have okay. So we have the two girls. I don't know. Did everybody hear about the two bit? Did I? Oops, one more back here. See, now I feel nothing past the deer. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me go back. So we have two missing girls. They are missing from Rocky Ford, Colorado. And I was looking for missing young girls and I found these two. They're very recent. I wanted to find some that maybe we can help out with now so people you see their pictures, people can be on the lookout. So this is Jilliana Snyder and Aubriella Snyder. Jilliana is 13 and Aubriella is 12. And they have been missing from Rocky Ford, Colorado since August 2nd. Yeah, I know. I said their names wrong the first time when you guys weren't listening, so I said them right this time. So I don't even have to go back and edit myself. But these two girls were and you know what? I think I closed their tab out too. So let me find them again because I want to share the article with you because I thought I broke the internet with my stream. So I'm going to share this again. You better let me share it now, StreamYard. Goodness, I am so sorry, guys. I am a rookie and I am not going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. I said the only thing I'm really good at is genealogy, and I am not good at this. So these are the two missing girls. We're going to go back again. I'm going to share, put them up here, add these. Oh, bear with me because now I'm getting all flustered. All right, there we go. And so these are the sisters, Aubriella and Jilliana, Rocky Ford, Colorado. And Rocky Ford is southern Colorado. It's about an hour southeast of Colorado Springs. Jilliana is 5'4", 130 pounds with brown hair. Aubriella is 12, 5'11", and 105 pounds with light brown hair. They were last seen on August 2nd, 2025. They left out their bedroom window and they haven't been seen or heard from since. They haven't made any contact with their family. And if you see or hear anything, you're asked to reach out to the Rocky Ford Police Department. Now, it gives a little bit. Actually, there's not a whole lot more information. That's about it. They just give a description of the girls. They haven't been in contact with the family and last seen leaving their residence. And that was the last time that they were seen. So here are their photos. I This is shared through Seco News, and they also have a Facebook um, for these girls as well. I will share this link. Thank you, Total Clips. We're here for the ride. And it's always going to be, hey, it's not going to be a smooth ride, but it'll be a fun one. I can promise you all that I'll keep you entertained on some level, even if it is I'm muted when I'm doing it. But so I found these two girls because I was looking for a few recently missing that we could maybe help out like now, like if get their images out there. And oddly enough, and I want to see what y'all think about this because my I don't have a conspiracy brain, but I do have one that like coincidences. I live in a small town and we don't have any missing persons. We have a wanted guy that killed his wife many years back, but we don't really have any missing people. And we definitely don't have two missing girls, young girls. And oddly enough, when these two girls popped up on Facebook, and then there was a Reddit for them because there's a missing persons thread on Reddit. And any of you guys that are following OB when she's been doing her horror stories. This I've been in the Reddits now too. She kind of got me into them, and I'm addicted to the unsolved missing and the paranormal Reddits, the subreddits. Like I'm in deep, but I was looking for missing people, found these two girls, and when I typed them in, I was just like missing girls from Rocky Ford, Colorado. Oddly enough, these were not the two girls that popped up on my Google search. The two girls that popped up, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to take this down, and then I'm going to. These are the two girls that popped up. So I'm thinking to myself, there's 4 girls missing from the same town. Now, these two young ladies went missing back in 1982. So this was quite a long time ago. Probably not connected, but how odd. So it just kind of led me to their story, which I'm very happy about because it took me down hopefully not a crazy rabbit hole. I think it's a good one, and I'll see what you guys think about it because I'm going to keep digging on this one too. This is another one that I want to keep following. And I'm really sad about this case, just for the fact that these two girls have been missing since 1982. There's very little information. There's not a documentary. There's nothing for these two girls. And I'm very upset because I don't know how I keep saying that. I don't know how you guys feel, but I get a little disgusted when I hear about all the missing Indigenous women, Hispanic women, Black women that are missing that do not get the airtime from the media. And I'm going to say, I think it's disgusting that if a woman is missing, I don't care what color she is, what nationality, what ethnicity, we should have something up for her. There shouldn't be minimal information. Like there should be a lot, like as much information as you can get, and they should be in every missing person database there is. And that's my soapbox, and I'll get off of it now. But I don't know if the fact that these two young women are Hispanic or what the situation is, why there is not more information about them. I mean, even back in 1982, we've got more information on cases that are far older than this. And just the fact that there's hardly anything, like it really it struck a nerve with me, which made me want to go and look more into it. So I'm going to pull up their this is pop these up. I'm going to stop this. Give me just a sec while I pop back in. Here we go. Oh, it didn't work. Nope, now it did. Okay, these two young ladies went missing, like I said, in 1982. And this is the first one who it seems like there's more information on Victoria Sanchez than there is her friend that she went missing with. And she goes by Vicky. She was 4'8" and 98 pounds. She does have identifying marks. She had a previously broken elbow, a scar from a surgery on her left arm, which runs from her wrist to the inside of her elbow. She went missing with her friend on November 1st, 1982. And this is also with the other, as with the other two girls, this is the Rocky Ford Police Department. And this is Otero County, Colorado. And Vicky was just 15 when she went missing. She voluntarily, as they say, left with a female companion who is also still missing. Victoria suffered from a broken elbow and has a surgical scar on her left arm, which runs from the wrist to the inside of her elbow. Her nickname is Vicky, and they said second and third. They said second and third. There is no other photo. This is the only photo they have of her on here, even though they said that they have another one. But, and then they ask anyone with information to contact the Rocky Ford Police Department. Now she went missing. This is her friend, Yvonne. See, I'm going to say it wrong. Mestas, I think. If I'm saying it wrong, somebody correct me. I love to be corrected. She is 4'9". She was 110 pounds. She has a large birthmark on her left or right buttock in the shape of a heart. She went missing on the same day, November 1st, 1982. Also 15, brown hair, black eyes. So there was some conflicting statements, it seems like, but the girls were last seen leaving after school and together. Some said that a couple reports said that they had skipped school, but from what I can tell from the actual sources, like the police department, and they said that the girls, it was at the end of the school day, they left together. So I'm not sure about this when they say the one girl left voluntarily with the other girl. I don't know. There's just not a whole lot of information. And they do have their NamUs case numbers. Then also for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, both of them have, but neither of those databases have any more information. So they have never been seen or heard from again since 1982. And this is in the same town where these two sisters just recently went missing in August. I don't know. It seems really weird to me. I was going through some Reddit articles and they're not articles, but I'll just read a little bit here. And one suggestion was that this case, from apparently people who live in the town of Rocky Ford have made mention of someone in particular. And then that got, of course, if somebody's going to talk about them, I'm going to go look them up. So I did that. And I also looked, and there was an update to this case back in 2017. So, and again, very little information. And I'll share this with you guys too now. Make sure it popped up. There we go. And this is from Fox 31 News. And Rocky Ford, Colorado. So, more than 3 decades ago, 2 teenagers from Rocky Ford disappeared, leaving behind no trace. So, they've never been heard of. There's no more information like about their case or anything. Uh, and we get down here. So the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and Rocky Ford Police Department say they are working to shed new light on the teen's disappearance. And they are trying to determine what happened to Victoria and Yvonne. And this is from CBI, which Colorado Bureau of Investigation in Pueblo. And they give a little bit more, like I said, they talk about Victoria suffering a broken elbow, and then the birthmark that is Yvonne is supposed to have on one of her butt cheeks. And officials with the agencies would not elaborate on the new developments. And of course, right, the detectives, they're not gonna say anything. So no more information was stated there in that article, and I'm a little I'm questioning it. Just because I don't know. I just have to wonder, like, if why there's not any information, like who were these girls' family? Are they looking for them? Did they think they ran away? Or and if the police have um new information, do they think that these girls were, that makes me think that they think there was some, perhaps something happened to them, nefarious. That's my thought. And then I found another article, and I will share this one because this is my rabbit hole that I'm going down. I'll keep you guys with me on it. And this is, where's my date on here? This is October 26, 2017. So this is from 11 News, and this says investigators spent the day searching in and around a home in Rocky Ford. And this is a 90-minute drive southeast of Colorado Springs. And the CBI they're not speaking. They conducted a search, and I don't know if they're collecting evidence or what's going on there. It looks like maybe they were. And the home of the man that they were and this perked my curiosity because I know who Thomas, I don't know him. I know who Thomas Edgley is because he is a convicted murderer, and he is currently in prison serving 10 years to life for a murder back in 1970, which I don't know how many of you guys have seen this case. It's on A&E. There's multiple. This is one that had a whole lot. This is what's her name? Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name right offhand, and it's gonna drive me nuts. Paula Zahn, sorry. She did a big, not a documentary, but she covered this case, and A&E has had a documentary on this. And this is the little girl who witnessed her mother's death. It was 23-year-old Loretta Jones. Hang on, I'm gonna pop this one off. And this is Thomas Edgley. And this is Loretta. And Loretta was bludgeoned to death in her home. She was 23 years old, and it was July 31st, 1970. Her 4-year-old daughter, Heidi, found her on the floor, the living room floor of their home. And this was in Price, Utah. And Heidi told law enforcement at the time that Tom did this. So she told them who it was. And nothing happened. So Heidi, because she's a 4-year-old child, I guess they didn't want to believe her. And even, what was it? I think this was also on the floor in her own blood. Loretta had written 2 letters in blood, and it was T and O. I hope, I don't know if this ringing a bell for anybody else, but this was I've seen this I've seen several different documentaries on this, so I'm pretty sure it was like on Unsolved Mysteries. It's been on a lot of them. But it was the little girl who ended up years later, she's Tom did it. When she was 4 years old, nobody would believe her. But eventually, Loretta was exhumed, and through genetic testing and DNA, Tom was linked to her murder. Now, oddly enough, the night that Heidi died, or not Heidi, Heidi's mother, Loretta, died, Tom tried to kidnap a 10-year-old girl off the street near Loretta's home. And seems like Tom is probably, I don't I don't know. I'm kind of looking at him side-eyed. I don't know anybody else want to look at him side-eye with me. And he this is Tom when he was in court. So now he looks like this, sad old man, right? But back in the day, look at him, he looks like he was a pretty rough and tumble dude. So I started looking into Mr. Thomas. I went onto Ancestry. I start kind of seeing what Tom's life was like. Just the fact that, I mean, he's already in prison for murder. Stevie, is that Ed? This dude looks, I don't know, it's something about his mustache. He creeps me out. And then Carbon County Sheriff's Department, he did go to jail for, I believe, for trying to pick up the 10-year-old girl, and why that didn't get any more. I don't know why these guys they were always getting out, and then other stuff happens. But it wasn't until 46 years later that he actually was put on trial, and Loretta was raped and murdered. He pled guilty when they took rape off the table. So then the longest, his sentence would have been 10 years to life. So he's still in jail. However, I'm kind of wondering if there's some other stuff going on here. If you guys remember the documentary, I'm going to look it up and see if maybe it's one that I can play, because it's really interesting. His neighbor got him to kind of come clean. Like, she went in with a wire, and he was like unburdening his soul. Like, I don't know if I totally believe that. I think that was just a way maybe of getting some sympathy. This guy's got I don't know. He's got a track record with women that looks really suspicious to me, and maybe I'm just jaded, he doesn't look like he's feeling too sad right there. He looks like he's kind of grinning a little bit. But this is where Tom lived, in Rocky Ford, and this is where Colorado Bureau of Investigation was conducting a search in connection to the 2 girls Yvonne and Victoria that went missing November 1982. So they must have also thought that there's two missing girls from this town and Mr. Edgley lived here. So they're looking at his place of residence and they're not saying if they found anything. I mean, he's already in jail, so I guess they're probably not too worried about like he's not going anywhere. But I did look up Mr. Edgley. He seems to have come from a bit of a broken family, if you want to say it that way. Uh, his father went to prison and his mother divorced him and remarried. And Tom grew up with a stepfather. Tom, I believe, has 4 marriages. I have found 3 marriages. So we have, he also was in Korea because right here is his military record. So he served in Korea. He was born in 1940. Residence place, Rocky Ford. And gives you all his descriptions, tattoos on his arms. His mother's listed up here, Mrs. Ray Williams. And this is on Ancestry, so this is publicly available information. But I have 3 marriage records for Mr. Edgley, so for Tom. And I have 4 divorce notifications, one as of 1965, one in 1977, one in 76, which that slides out of order, and then another one in 1984. And I don't know what the situation is behind this, but kind of curious if he's got a history with women. I mean, obviously, Loretta, he bludgeoned her and killed her. He tried to abduct a 10-year-old girl. So I'm going to guess that he's probably not really mentally, maybe he's just not he's got woman issues perhaps. But so I started to look up to like using the US Index of Public Records to see where he's lived. He's lived in Rocky Ford, Colorado, which is where he was picked up. And then he also had a P.O. box for Elko, Nevada. So kind of curious if these are, I don't know. I wonder, he killed one woman and he took a deal, right, to serve 10 to life. Perhaps hoping that he's going to get out, but he's going to be, 86 now? So odds are he's not going to get out, which is probably a good thing, even an old man. But so yeah, so I'm doing a little looking into him because I'm kind of curious now too if Thomas had anything to do with the 2 girls that were missing in 82. It doesn't seem like it's probably a huge leap since the CBI was at his place potentially looking for information maybe on these 2 girls. And this is one that I want to keep tabs on to see, and I want to dive into, maybe we can track Thomas a little more closely. I don't know exactly where he was in 1982. I didn't get any further than this right here, which already took I think this was probably 4 or 5 hours of going through marriage records and divorce records, and I just did some screenshots real quick for you, but I can show you guys how to do a search on Ancestry as well if you'd like on another live. But that's what I have for Thomas, and just kind of curious what you guys think. If you guys want to look into the case, I'll also post the links for Thomas and his case with Loretta and her murder. And like I said, there's an A&E documentary, and I think there's multiple YouTube videos too that people have done. I kind of prefer the ones like from A&E. There was one that was really good. I believe it was called like Through the Daughter's Eyes, or But I'll find it and I'll let you guys know what it is, because it's how, I mean, her daughter never gave up. 46 years she kept trying to find her mother's, to put him away, and they finally did. But I'm just kind of wondering, is this another man who's got a long record? I mean, we started with Terry Rasmussen, and now we have Tom Edgley. So I'm wondering if we got another guy here. So I'd like to look into him. If anybody else is interested, keep tabs on this case. But this is it. This is what I got for you guys today. So we're about an hour and a half in, and that's about it. The housekeeping, we did that at the beginning, but we'll be back on Saturday with the dead airtime and our ghost stories, doing the Bridgewater Triangle again. And here, I got the palette cleanser. I'm gonna, boop, boop, boop. I'll show you guys Raina. Do you love your mama? Raina, do you love your mama? That's my girl. That's my horse, Raina. So she'll nod her head if I ask her if she loves her mama and if she wants cookies. So I feel pretty special that I rank up there with cookies, because I don't even think I rank above with my kid. I don't even think I rank above cookies with my kid, or even near cookies. So I feel pretty special with my horse. And then I got one more. Here's another Raina. This is from yesterday when she was out. She's my boo. I'll tell you guys. I love this horse. So she's out in the pasture yesterday at sunset. So she was looking so pretty. But like I said, I'll get some better palette cleansers for you guys in the future. But I don't want copyright strikes, so I'm just gonna play it safe and just do my own my little corny videos for right now until I get some better ones. And yeah, well, I'll evolve, hopefully. So all right, guys. Well, thank you. I hope I got you interested in the Thomas Edgley case and the two missing girls. So to go back over, we're going to be looking for information on. Let me pop the girls back up here again. Okay. Hang on. Here we go. I'm so slow at this, guys. Hopefully I'll get faster here. All right. So we're looking for Victoria Lenore Sanchez and her friend that she went missing with. And this is from November 1st, 1982. She went missing with her friend Yvonne Mestas. And I will post their information on the community page and in the Discord. And then our next girls that are missing are let's see, this is Jilliana Snyder. Make sure it's showing. Yep, there we go. Jilliana Snyder and Aubriella Snyder, ages 13 and 12, sisters, missing from Rocky Ford, Colorado as well, just as our previous two girls are. And they have been missing since August 2nd, 2025. And let's not forget our Pepper and Denise from the Bear Creek murders. And I'll pop them up here too. Boop, 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 boop. I need some sound effects, so I'm not making them. So Pepper is still missing. She's the mother of Ray Rasmussen, who was just identified. And she's been missing since the late 70s. And then Denise, who is the little brunette over here with the little plaid pinafore, I believe, on, with the cute smile. and she's missing as well. And I will post all their information, all of our missing people that we cover. I'll keep posting them in the community tab on YouTube, and then I'll put them in the Discord as well. So let me know what you guys think. If you come across any missing person cases that you, even if there's one that you just need some help on, like you want to learn how to do your own ancestry search, like that's how I found a lot of people that way. I don't know if people know how readily their information is available already, like on the ancestry sites, but there's a lot of stuff already there. So I can help you navigate it. If you need any help, please don't hesitate. You can just, somewhere is my, there it is. There's our email, gravesghostandDNA@gmail.com. Just send me an email if you have any questions. If there's a case you are interested in that you want me to go look up see if I can find anything on, I will gladly do that. Otherwise, we'll continue. Hopefully Wednesdays will work out, and we'll just keep sharing some of these unsolved and missing. I do have one other unsolved case that Oblivious Benson and I have been looking at for about a year now. Well, she's been doing it longer, but I did a deep dive in it and pulled up a lot of newspaper articles and did some of my own research. So we're going to be collaborating on that at some point. And yeah, that's what's coming up. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming, and come back on Saturday night. And I mean, unless you're chicken, then don't. But all right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Good night.